What's up, everybody? I'm Ness Eagle, and you're listening to What Bursts My Smashballs, a podcast dedicated to why I hate the new Smash Brothers. Today's a big one. We got a discussion about a new leak with pictures, and I will 100% confirm that this is legit. I have seen pictures that no one else has seen. I can say with full confidence, this leak is real. However, we recorded this before I saw these pictures, so if it doesn't sound like it matched up with what I was saying on the boards, don't worry about it. It's old. So, everybody listening, I'm here with Nicholas2222, and I'm not sure if you're really especially popular on the board, but you're one of my first fans.
Hey.
Which is pretty humbling. I appreciate that. So I thought it'd be. You said that you wanted to be on the show, and I thought, why the hell not? You know.
I'm honoured to be on it, truly.
Well, I'm glad that you came on. Yeah, we got the topics made for us, man. This week we got we had a couple of megaton hits that are official, but I think the big topic here that I don't want to avoid is the leak, the ESRB leak that came out.
Oh man, I have so much I want to say about that, but yeah.
But yeah, I guess I'll just go through exactly what this leak entailed, and then we can kind of discuss what we think of it. This leak confirmed the Duck Hunt Dog, Ness, Dr. Mario, Dark Pit, Bowser Jr., Shulk, and a couple of veterans like Wario, Rob, Jigglypuff, and Falco. Am I missing anybody? Oh, Game & Watch.
Yeah.
And Ganondorf. Just a whole sleuth of news, I guess.
Well, I'm, for one, really happy that Rob and Jigglypuff are back, but that's just me, you know.
Oh, yeah. We have a much different opinion on that subject. I mean, actually, I don't dislike Rob that much. Oh, you don't have to apologize for anything. You can call me a jerk on my show, and I'll allow it.
Nah. I try to be polite.
Yeah, actually, I don't mind Rob that much. I will say that, globally speaking, I found that a lot of people didn't like Rob when he first showed up, and no one really took to Rob later on either. Me personally, I actually kind of liked his moveset. I actually started to appreciate the fact that Sakurai put in a character that has such a deep history with Nintendo, whether or not he is a video game character, you know.
Oh, definitely.
I can definitely appreciate why he was in the game. But at the same time, you know, so many people don't want him in the game. And
I think that was mainly because, I mean, you remember around the time Brawl's roster got leaked, I mean, people went absolutely nuts.
Yeah, that's true.
They was like, oh, why is this character not in? Why is that character not in? I thought we was going to get like 50 plus characters and stuff, and, you know, in the end we got like 36 or 39.
Yeah.
Or whatever it was.
I will say this, though. I actually was really happy with Brawl's roster. I mean, there was like one or two picks.
I definitely loved it. I mean, I'm someone who kept their expectations low, so I was never disappointed with it.
Yeah. Me personally, I didn't know what to expect. I mean, I had played Melee for so long, and we all know like how bare bones that game is compared to Brawl.
Oh, definitely.
So, yeah, to have that roster that we got in Brawl was pretty impressive to me. But now that standard has been put in place, this roster that we're looking at right now, if this leaked roster is real, if it's the real deal...
I mean, we got 53 characters out of it. That's not bad.
That's true. We got a lot of characters, but I don't like almost every single character that got leaked. Almost.
I and my sister are big fans of Bowser Jr., and I love the idea of it. So, you know, I got Bowser Jr. I don't mind the idea of Duck Hunt Dog. He seems like a fun idea. You know what Sakurai's like. He can pull the moveset out of his ass, and it could be brilliant, you know, no matter what it is.
I hope he has the zapper.
Oh, I hope he has the zapper. That'd be brilliant. The same with the little clicking noise it used to make.
Oh, yeah.
God, that thing was noisy.
Well, you gotta hear that gun go off, man.
Yeah.
No, I will say this. Out of everything, I will actually say, I will make this official. Aside from veteran returns, all the newcomers, I think, are terrible, except for Duck Hunt Dog. I think Duck Hunt Dog is genius. We absolutely need... He is one of the most popular video game characters that have just disappeared since the NES days.
Oh, definitely.
So to have him come back would be amazing. And I think the only thing that would be a kick in my balls is if like this turns out to all be fake and Duck Hunt Dog isn't in the game and we still get like a bunch of crappy characters in this place, you know?
If this is a freaking hoax, then that guy has some serious freaking time on his hands and some serious freaking skills.
Yes, no, you're absolutely right about that. Yeah.
Cracks almighty.
Yeah, if people listening are looking at the pictures that I'm posting right now, he does go into great detail, like as far as what he put in his leak, whether or not it's real or fake. There's obviously some care and attention to these pictures being shown. So we would love to believe, and we want to believe that no one would waste their life, putting this all together so close to the release of the game, because. If you're going to make a leak this monumental, you kind of want to
do it a little bit sooner so you have a bit more time to speculate,
Exactly.
When's it coming out? Like 20 days from now?
Yeah, either 20 or less. Somewhere around there.
Jeez.
I know. I'm excited.
I'm excited, but I guess I'm just good at hiding it.
Yes, just very content.
Gonna say, I'm one of those horrible Sakurai apologists, and I'm content with most things, so...
Oh no.
I know.
And you're a fan of my show?
I like your show. I like having other people's opinions, because you can have a constructive criticism without just resulting to petty arguing and bickering. And I like that about this show because, it has more of that constructive criticism and such to it.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah. Hey, Ness.
What's up?
Before we begin, or continue rather, I'd like to know your opinion on what you make of this. I love the Mii fighters.
Oof, why?
I don't know. I find them charming and silly, and because me and my sister make all these stupid looking Miis, and we do things like play Wii Pie and all this rubbish and Wii Music and all that.
You liked Wii Music?
I love Wii Music. I absolutely love Wii Music.
How is that possible?
I don't care what anyone says. It's just stupid fun. And maybe I just have brain deficiencies, but I love that game.
Well, I would only partially agree. I would say that Wii Music is stupid, but I wouldn't put in fun.
It all depends on how you treat it, I guess. But,
yeah, that's interesting. Most people don't like the Mii fighters. I'm kind of glad that that's more unanimous. I think I would have just gone insane if everyone was happy about the Miis. But that's interesting that you enjoy the idea that they're coming in. Do you enjoy the fact that they have 3 separate movesets? They're essentially 3 characters in one.
I'm very much okay with it. I mean, because Miis are meant to be... Sakurai said it himself. It's something that you can use to create your own fighters. If maybe your favorite character didn't get in, you can make your own pseudo one. It's just silly, but it gives you lots of options, and I think it opens up the game's replay value a lot as well, because there's all these moves to unlock, all these costumes, and it lets you try different variations, all kinds of stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a very optimistic way to look at it. I mean, on the other side of things, the reason why I don't really care for the Miis, or actually I'm strongly opposed to them, is because all those time and resources put into giving them separate moves, costumes, customability, that all could have gone towards 3 completely new Nintendo characters.
Oh yeah, I definitely see that side of it.
And the customization could have gone to alternate costumes for certain characters that we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, that is true. But I like to think of Miis as a Nintendo character, even though you create them. Even though you do create them, they are... The base of them is still something Nintendo have created and they've implemented in so many games, and I just like to think of them as little Nintendo icons.
That's fair to say. I honestly was really hoping... Because I don't outright hate the Miis. I know there's some people that are very passionate against the Miis. I think that they're avatar characters, and I mean, you see my show, so or I think you have an idea of how I feel about avatar characters already.
You don't like Robin and such, do you?
Right, exactly. So, but that being said, I still appreciate the Miis to an extent, and I was really hoping that they would be the new, basically the wireframes or the polygon team of this version of Smash Brothers, and they are actually. They've been confirmed as being the new multi-man characters. But I kind of wish it was just that, I kind of wish that they just had clone moves of characters that already exist, and it didn't take any time to develop them, and just have them just be that, have that be their role.
Yeah, I could see why, you'd like that. But then I don't know, I just like the idea of it gives you, like, so much to play around with. I'm a big fan of, like, creator fighters in games, so maybe that doesn't help my bias towards them,
Well,
you know.
actually, yeah, no, that's perfectly fair to say. And in fact, if you are a fan of custom characters, this is definitely the best venue for it.
Mm.
I don't think it could have gone any better than this as far as a game like Smash Brothers goes. So.
Oh, definitely, definitely. I mean, Smash is my favorite fighting game. I love Creator Fighter. It's perfect for me, but I can understand why so many other people don't like them.
Right.
Because they are just avatar characters.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But moving back on topic, I just wanted to go through all the characters that we have confirmed, or rather,
Certainly.
pseudo confirmed. What do you think of? Let's see. Let's just work down the list. Dark Pit.
Oh God, no! Fudge me. That's the worst one on the whole list, if you ask me. I despise Dark Pit in Kid Icarus Uprising.
Oh, no kidding.
He is just the absolute worst. Do you remember anything past Sonic Adventure 2 Shadow?
Of course.
He's just, oh, I'm dark and I'm edgy and I'm cool. And it's like that personified by 100. Everything he says has to be some sort of cool little quip, and fudge, man. I really hate Dark Pit.
I'm guessing you didn't hang out with the cool kids in school.
No. I was bullied every day of my life until I was 16 or something.
Oh man, that's rough.
No big
I will say this. I like nega characters. That's what I call them, is characters who are negative versions of. But on the other hand, like, he's actually created from an alternate color that Pit had in Brawl, right?
Yeah.
So there really wasn't any reason to make him his own character. He's literally a carbon copy of Pit. And
Yeah.
he could have just been an alternate costume with a different voice.
Yeah. It's so that is the absolute worst idea I think Sakurai could have done. And I really hate the whole Sakurai bias, argument, but I would actually agree with it if Dark Pit is, real.
Yeah.
Because it's downright laughable how bad of an idea that is.
I think it really makes no sense for Dark Pit to be playable in this, but not Magnus.
Yeah, I literally made a comment just before we began doing this, saying, like, I would have happily have taken a Magnus clone of Ike over Dark Pit, and I don't particularly like Magnus. That's.
When I saw him in Kid Icarus Uprising, I was almost dead certain that he was going to be Smash Brothers material. I thought he was designed to be a character to be put into Smash Brothers, and it blew me away to find out that he was an assist trophy. I was like, huh, okay.
Well, they give him a pretty decent looking role in the trailer, but then you find out he's only in like 2 chapters of the actual game.
That's true. I think it was 3, wasn't it?
It might have been 3, probably.
But you're right, it's a very meager number compared to, I think, what is it? How many in total?
25? I haven't
25.
actually finished it.
Oh, okay. Oh, you should. It's pretty awesome.
I've had the game for ages, and I had it on the Aurum Heart episode, whatever you want to, chapter, but my main draw of that game is the multiplayer.
I do love the multiplayer myself.
Oh, it's so good.
What about Shulk? I know that it's like people had plenty of time to have their own opinions on this because of how many leaks he's already been in.
I'm not a big fan of Xenoblade Chronicles. I really didn't like that game, personally, but I've known for a long time since Gematsu, it's probably likely he's going to be in at some point. My only worry really was that, he'd take over the role of another amazing little JRPG hero that you might know by the name of Isaac.
Yeah, which would have made way more sense.
I love Isaac. He's the character I wanted more than anyone else.
I think Sakurai just has like a weird bias. I think it's like, because obviously Isaac's a prime choice. There's no reason why he couldn't have been in Brawl. And if this leak is to be true, why did he get like the axe over Shulk?
God knows. I mean, Shulk. I guess he's going for quite niche ideas, but then he's also going for a lot of mainstream ideas. I mean, you got like the likes of Wii Fit Trainer, for God's sake.
Ugh.
But then you got the likes of things like Villager, who's very mainstream. We have to keep that bit in, though.
Now, what about the return of Dr. Mario?
Indifferent. I would have preferred him as an alternate costume, but if he gets his own custom specials and he's some extra padding, I don't mind.
I think it's a terrible idea. I don't think he ever belonged in Melee. And when he was cut in Brawl, I was so happy about it. I was like, yes, he understands what the weak links of Melee's roster was and fixed it.
Mm.
And to see him come back in this makes no sense to me whatsoever. It felt like Dr. Mario was only in the first place because he was like one of those really quick clone characters just to even out the roster. And now to see him back, it just makes no sense to me.
Well, I think that was literally his existence, like the point of his existence, rather. Padding. And I think that's his reason here. The same as Darkbit and Lucina.
But do we really need padding, though? I mean...
we don't need it, but... you really going to argue with it? Like, if it took basically no development time besides a bit of, extra balancing, you're really going to argue with an extra character? You don't have to play as them. You can just leave them there.
It confuses me because, the reason why it confuses me is because with Brawl, we had, like, these very expensive, time-consuming to develop modes called Subspace Emissary.
Oh, yeah.
Among many, many other things, but the roster was still fantastic and solid, and there wasn't too many clones, really, because even most of the clones got, like, declonified with special moves. So, now, with this game, we completely got rid of story mode. That's gone. That's a whole lot of resources and time that you now have to focus on other things.
Sorry, let me just interrupt you. We don't actually know that yet. We don't know that for sure. I mean, how much do we really know about, like, the extras, like the modes and such of the Wii U version?
The Wii U version, yeah, we don't know much of anything.
We don't know diddly squat about that, man. We got so much info about the 3DS. Sure, it might be gone from the 3DS, but for all we know, the Wii U could have something huge that we don't know about.
I certainly hope so. I mean, like...
Oh, yeah.
The only thing is that releasing the 3DS version as it is leaves a really bad impression on us to what we should expect from the Wii U version.
I definitely understand that.
If they certainly, like, if they were like, well, here's the 3DS version coming out, just see it as a portable version. Meanwhile, you can wait for the Wii U version that's going to have all this stuff.
Yeah.
I think we'd all feel a little bit better. But the way that they're kind of handling it right now, where the game's been in development and announced for, like 2 years now?
Something like that.
And we still don't know anything. And I hope that we just don't know anything and that something's going to be announced.
God, so do I. I mean...
It's just bad advertising, I think.
Yeah, I don't want to call the 3DS version bare bones, because it really isn't. But...
why would you say that?
Well, we've got the likes of... We got 3 stadium modes. Got Angry Birds, we got Multi-Man, we got whatever the other one is, I can't remember. We got Smash Run, we got Classic, we got All-Star mode.
Do we have All-Star mode? Did they confirm that?
Yeah, that was confirmed in the Direct, I believe. He said the assist trophies have something to do with All-Star mode or something.
Oh, okay.
So we got most of the basic stuff you get from a Smash game.
Yeah.
All we're really missing is a story mode or an adventure mode.
I would argue there's still a couple of modes that were in Brawl that are boss modes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was great.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I don't think we have a confirmed event match yet for 3DS.
No, I'm not entirely sure myself. I don't think we do, no.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just like... A sequel should have more, not less, is what I'm trying to get at. And so...
Oh, yeah, definitely. My sister has the exact same mindset as that, and I do agree with her.
And so, again, if that's the case, if you have less modes available, shouldn't the roster be, like, perfect? Like, shouldn't it be immaculate at this point if you have all this stuff taken out of the game? So then to see Dr. Mario, it's like, what the hell are you guys doing, Like, what were you doing this whole time? If you have, like, padding in the roster and you don't have any modes.
It does make you think, like, literally, what were you doing in all that time? Was it all spent, making custom moves or alternate costumes or whatever,
Let's move on to another character on the list here.
Certainly.
I think it's really funny that Robin and Shulk really do look so similar in the roster. And I think it's really funny and cheeky that, like, the way they differentiated themselves is that Robin's looking to the left and Shulk's looking to the right.
Oh man, I kind of wish that the female Robin was the default one, but that's just me, you know.
I actually agree with that. All right, cool. Actually, okay, so in that amount of time where my internet cut out, I realized that there were no other new characters. Oh,
Really?
Bowser Jr. Oh, you already talked about him, though.
Yeah, I love the idea of it, you know. That's just me. What do you think of it?
I never liked Bowser Jr. I always thought of him as unnecessary to the series. Like,
Yeah.
we had the Koopalings, and
Yeah.
during the GameCube era, I only saw Bowser Jr. as a, like, replacement for characters that I enjoyed more. So I always harbored a little bit of resentment for the character. And so when Brawl was coming out and everyone was predicting Bowser Jr., I was strongly opposed to it. And I was very happy to see that he hadn't made it into the roster. This time around, I've just grown up a little bit. Now that we have the Koopalings back, it doesn't represent that anymore to me. And I don't mind Bowser Jr. so much, but I still have those memories of resentment. And so to have him in conjunction with a whole bunch of characters that I didn't really want to begin with hand in hand, it just looks like another stain to me in the roster. Now,
Yeah.
I don't, like I said, he'd be fine if he was surrounded by characters that I loved, but it's just, in my experience, it's just not the case.
What if the Von Rose leak turns out to be true and the Koopalings are the alt costumes for him?
Oh, if that happened, I'd be excited as all hell.
Yeah, damn right.
Yeah, no, I would be jumping out of my seat for that. I'd be like, sure, put 2 fucking roster slots for Bowser Jr.
Yeah, give him 8 for all I care, you know. As long as I get Larry Cooper, I don't mind.
Yeah, I was a Roy Koopa man myself.
Oh, Roy's awesome, but I just like Larry. I like his little mohawk.
Larry is really cool. I think he's my second favorite. He's the one with the blue mohawk, right?
Glad we straightened that out.
What's that?
Glad we straightened that out.
Yeah. Alright, so I mean, we could go over the veterans, but let's be honest, you know, we've formulated our opinions of them in Brawl, so who cares to really talk about them here? So I guess my real question is, do you think that this is real?
I've got a lot I want to say about it, but honestly, at this point, I'm leaning towards real. I'm going to say I'm 98% sure it's real.
Okay. And what do you think of it?
I think it's pretty okay. You know, I mean, I've already got a lot of the announced newcomers that I really love. Like, I like Wii Fit Trainer, I like Villager, Mega Man.
God. You are
Robin.
A perfect guest for my show. We just disagree on everything, but you're so polite.
Well, Robin was one of my most wanted characters because I love Fire Emblem Awakening. Absolutely adore that game. And I love his design and the idea that he uses the tome and sword together. You know, I just love a lot about this game already. Little Mac looks so much fun, for example. You know,
Yeah.
I love it. But what we got out of the leak, it's pretty okay. Like, for a remainder sort of thing.
Very much disagree. I think that if we get stuck with this roster, there's a lot of things for me to hold on to that I can just look at and say, okay, well, these at least we got this, you know? But if I was to go through everything here, it's just like, there's so many characters that have already been announced that I don't like. Almost all the characters that are in this leak, I hate. And they took out my favorite character from Brawl, which was Wolf.
Oh man, I'm so gutted Wolf got the cut.
Oh, you're so glad he got the cut?
No, I'm gutted. I'm angry, sad,
sick
with anger, whatever you want to say, you know. I don't remember the quote.
I mean, I look at it this way. Again, if the roster was fantastic, I'd be okay with Wolf's cut, even though he was my best character in Brawl. Sometimes it's fun to discover your new favorite character.
Yeah.
However, in this case, like, I would need Wolf to kind of like balance out all the really bad choices in here. And when I look at it, I mean, I guess me and Sakurai are just two different people with two different opinions, because I look at Falco and Wolf, and I think to myself, well, Falco, you've been around since Melee. You got your second appearance in Brawl. Wolf only had Brawl. It's like now it's time to pass the torch. But I guess that's not the case. I guess Sakurai has a thing for characters that have been around longer.
I actually don't like the idea of Falco returning over Wolf because he is more of a clone than Wolf ever was. Wolf doesn't even feel like a clone of Fox half the time to me.
Definitely not for me. I mean, to use Wolf effectively, I have to use him completely differently from Fox, you know?
The only reason I ever cut Wolf from my main squad is because I suicided as him a lot.
Oh, yeah, he has a really difficult recovery, and for whatever reason, that using that side B would cause him to sometimes not grab the ledge,
Yeah.
oddly enough. But I worked around it. Yeah, he ended up becoming my best character because he's so great as an offensive approach.
Oh, definitely.
But yeah, there's my little lament for Wolf there.
I'm personally very sad the Ice Climbers are gone as well. I like the Ice Climbers a lot. They're good fun.
I personally am okay with this, and that's only because I was never good with them. But they are those characters that if you are good with them, you're really good with them, you know?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, well, I'm not particularly good at Smash. I play it very casually.
oh, I see.
I try to play, competitively, I guess, but I'm just not very good at it. I'm just not good at video games in general.
Well, I think that's the beautiful thing about Smash Brothers is that you can play it casually and have a ton of fun, or you can take it seriously and try to like your best to win, and you can. There's a venue for that as well, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
I absolutely hate both sides whenever someone says like this is the way to play Smash Brothers. You know, you're playing it wrong.
God, this age-old argument. I wish it would just die. If I'm honest.
Okay, so I guess if you had to give it a score, I don't know if you enjoy doing review scores, but if you had to give this roster a review score, what would you rate it?
Out of 10?
Sure.
Or I give it an 8.5.
Oof, yeah, that's very generous.
And yourself?
I would say as far as expanding the roster, the characters that we got, now size doesn't matter. It's what you do with it. And in that regard, I would give it a 4 out of 10, and that's a genuine opinion.
I think that's very generous on your behalf, to be fair.
Oh, thank you. Well, there's some things it does right. You know, they got Little Mac in there. They got Lucina, even though she's a clone, so that kind of docks some points. But they got her in. That's the important part. Duck Hunt Dog is a brilliant choice.
Oh,
Mega Man. But then, a lot of things strike against it. Like, I don't understand why we have so many Pokemon. I don't understand why Jigglypuff is back. I mean, I've said from the beginning, I know that there's some people that say, well, the original 12, you can't touch the original 12.
I think Jiggs is simply back through seniority, to be honest with you.
Exactly, and I think that's a wrong reason to put a character back in the game.
I can't say, whether it's right or wrong, because obviously I'm not Sakurai. I have no say in what's right or what's wrong. I'm just a casual scrub who likes Smash Bros.
No, I think that you have every right to have an opinion. I mean, you're the consumer. You're the one that this game is designed for. You know what I mean? So you should absolutely have resentment towards a character that has no reason to be there, aside from the fact that they've just been there since the beginning.
Well, I'm also a big fan of Jigglypuff. I've always liked playing as her, so I'm kind of happy she's back.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, then I guess in that regard, then it would be fine in your case. Me personally, I just don't see the point. But
yeah, that's understandable. I mean, I can get why people don't really get or like Jiggs anymore because she hasn't been relevant for God knows how many years. Even like in things where she was meant to be, where she gained her popularity, rather like the Pokemon anime, she hasn't been in that for fudge knows how long by now.
Exactly. I mean, just like you said, she hasn't been animated forever. But on top of that, even when she was at her prime during the anime, Meowth was still a better choice than her.
Oh man, I would have loved Meowth. I absolutely adore that little bastard.
Yeah, and I mean to get away from the Pokemon because I could just rant all day about the choices here. And then you got characters like Wii Fit Trainer, which blew my mind to hear that you were happy to see the Wii Fit Trainer. Do you want to talk about that for a little bit? I'm very interested to see why you enjoy Wii Fit Trainer as a character.
Well, first and foremost, I need to get this out of the way because this bugs me to no end, but it's not because of her freaking arse.
Or her feet.
Oh god, stop. Ugh. God. Ugh.
Yeah, sorry.
It's alright, I just don't get the whole foot fetish thing.
No, I don't either, trust me.
I just don't get it personally, that's just me,
But you do like the characters, so what reason do you have for that?
I think she's very well inspired by what she does. They've implemented her moveset quite well. She looks pretty standard of a fighter, but she looks like a lot of fun at the same time. If that makes sense.
That makes sense to me. Yeah, she has a very as unusual as her movements are, the length and just the way she throws out her attacks are very standard.
Yeah,
It's almost like just stabbing forward, but instead she's doing like a yoga pose. So
yeah.
so yeah, she looks like she'd be very standard. And I mean, I'm just not going to use her out of pride. I don't care how good she ends up being. Will not do it. I mean, I'll play as her and just see how she is, but competitively, I will not represent Wii Fit Trainer. I absolutely refuse.
I don't. Even if I did play like super competitively, I really don't like the idea of listening to a tier list. So that's just me. I thought I'd throw it out.
I understand. Well, again, you don't play competitively, so.
I wish I did, because I used to play quite well, I think, but I just don't have many people around that I can play it with. It's mainly just me and my sister usually to play Smash, and we always play on teams.
If you could be the absolute best with any character, which character would it be? And that's to rephrase the question, who is your absolute favorite actual character that's just in the roster, but don't worry about the moveset. Just as they are as a character outside of Smash.
Robin.
Robin's your favorite?
At the moment, in Smash, Robin is my favourite character that I really am looking forward to playing as.
I mean, so you would pick Robin over, say, someone like Link as your favorite Nintendo character?
If we're just talking about favourite Nintendo character, sorry, I misheard the question. Ganondorf is my absolute favourite number one character of all time.
Okay, so if Ganondorf had this new moveset and you were just were 1-to-1 with him, you would love to represent that character?
Oh, definitely.
It's very cool.
Him or Bowser.
Oh, so you like the villains?
It's not necessarily just the villains. I just love Ganondorf as a character. It was Wind Waker that really made me think, wow, that is a character with some depth to him, because in Ocarina of Time, he was just a hell-bent nutcase. In Wind Waker, he was almost solemn until you take away everything he's worked for, and then he just snaps and he goes absolutely ballistic. He's a psychopath. And I just love that about him. Oh, God.
But I am an avid supporter of just getting more villains in there in general.
I'm one of those people that sort of that people always say oh, we need more females, and it's do you really want a character just because they're female?
Yeah.
Do you really want a character just because they're a villain? That's the sort of thing I see it as, but that's just me.
I understand that. What's funny is that I genuinely believe that Sakurai listened to the people that said we want more females in the game. Well, look at what we got.
Yeah, we got at least 12, I think it is 10 or 12.
There's no way to ignore that fact. It can't just be a coincidence, All right. Well, let me see. Is there anything else we can talk about?
I have a question for you, actually.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Go for it.
Speaking back to the Varmrose League, well, they did mention that Ridley, the Chorus Kids, Dixie Kong, and someone else I can't remember, Mewtwo, were also going to be part of this league. And there are 4 spaces available, plus 1 for the Mii Fighters, once they're available or usable. Mm-hmm. So, what are your opinion on those 4?
I can't really say for sure if any of those characters will make it. You're talking about the Gamatsu League, correct?
It's sort of like a mix between the Gamatsu League and the Varmrose League. It was simply Mewtwo, Dixie Kong, Ridley, and the Chorus Kids.
I will say, I want to say that league is probably fake. I can't even say for sure now because I'm looking at Dr. Mario right now and I can't believe it, even as we speak. So to say Dixie Kong is completely out of the question is now, of course, up in the air. I really want to believe that Dixie Kong would be an alternate skin to Diddy Kong before ever being her own character.
Well, I don't think she would be a clone. I could see her being quite a diverse newcomer, but that's just me.
Oh, there's certainly potential there, but there's also a very prime opportunity to just slap her in Diddy
Yeah,
Kong's
very lazily.
slot. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then again, I would have said the same thing for Dark Pit, and look what happened, you know?
Yeah.
Actually, again, I would have said the same thing for Dr. Mario, and look what happened, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? Do I hate that the idea of that leak? Yeah, I do, so you know what? It probably will happen.
Oh dear.
But yeah, there certainly is potential to fill in the rest of the roster there. I mean, like, just look at it. It's begging to be completely filled, you know?
Yeah,
And
definitely.
there should be no black there. It should just be all icons, and I think that's exactly what's going to happen.
Mm. I agree. I personally think we are going to get another 4 fighters and the Mii fighter spot filled in. I don't think they would leave it like that. It just makes no sense.
Yeah, exactly. Especially with nothing going on in the background. It's like just plain black.
Yeah, it just seems very lazy to leave it like that almost.
I just don't like the fact that it's turning out exactly how I'm the whole time I've just been making a prediction. Like, didn't want to absolutely believe that what I was saying was going to happen, but it's starting to look that way, and I mean, it just disappoints me, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, I'm glad there's still people out there that can appreciate this. At the same time, it's like, if it's as bad as I think it's going to end up being, and people didn't buy it, I think that would just be like a wake up call to Nintendo, and for people to say like, hey, if you're going to give us a lesser product, we're not going to buy it.
Yeah, I can see what you mean. But at the same time, obviously it's all down to opinion whether or not you think it's a lesser product, ain't it?
That's
Yeah,
true,
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, even you yourself said there are things that are, redeemable about it. But when it comes down to it, if you think it's a lesser product, you're going to be disappointed.
Yeah. Well, yes and no. I mean, like you said, it's maybe I can just I guess I could look at it this way. The thing is that with Brawl, I enjoyed all aspects of it. I really enjoyed the competitive aspect, despite the fact that people say there is none.
Mm.
But more importantly, the game was packed to the brim with things to do.
My lord, wasn't it just?
It was hours and hours and hours, and that's something you can't usually say in a fighting game. So I absolutely adored Brawl. I definitely got my money's worth. I'd say like I probably should have spent maybe 4 times as much as I paid to have the experience that I had with Brawl.
Well, I technically did because at the time I bought a freeloader and I had to import it from America because we had to wait. Like over in England, we had to wait like 3 months, and I was like, "Fuck that!
You
No,
poor bastards. That's just
no,
terrible.
I'm buying a freeloader. I'm buying an American copy, and I am not waiting 3 months for that. No way."
That's what I'm doing for this one coming up. I'm buying the Japanese copy first and doing that. Yeah.
I'd
That
like
stinks,
to.
though. I mean, we got it later than Japan, and so you guys were supposed to wait another 3 months?
Yeah, we had to wait an extra 3 months after America.
It's just not right, man. It's not. I always feel so bad for my friends in the UK. They always get the pits. I think there was like one game that you guys got before us, and I'm trying to remember which one. I think it was, what was it, Pikmin 3?
I can't exactly remember, but I know we did get a game quite early compared to America.
Oh, you know what it was? It was Bravely Default.
That's it.
Yeah. And that was
I
a great game. And I was so jealous.
I love that game. I absolutely love that game.
Yeah.
Can you do me a favour?
Oh, sure.
Can you, if it's not against copyright infringement, can you lead out with the asterisk battle theme from Bravely Default?
Absolutely, I can do that.
Thank you very much.
In fact, I guess we can close this episode out now. I mean, I'm pretty sure we already filled out an entire episode because we had to split into 2 and we're already at 20 minutes on this second recording.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to talk about as far as the week updates go? I don't know how well it will fit into our overall discussion, but...
I'll quickly go over what I think. Nightmare Wizard is amazing. It's a shame his effects and what he does is rubbish. Zero Suit Samus's costume doesn't bother me. Brinstar's awesome.
It bothers me, I'll say that.
I know it bothers a lot of people, but it's just me again.
You know what? I just want the Justin Bailey costume, and I don't think we're going to get it, and I'll tell you why.
I would like that as well. But
it would be amazing, and it wouldn't be hard to do either, but I don't think we're going to get it because that was more of a US thing, I think US and Europe thing, whereas in Japan they didn't get that special costume or special cheat.
Potentially, but then look at Little Mac. I mean, look how Western influenced that whole thing is.
True, but at the same time, I mean, I've been arguing that although Little Mac is way more popular outside of Japan, his games are still available in Japan.
True that. True that.
Whereas the Justin Bailey costume is kind of like exclusive to outside of Japan. So I would see Sakurai either not being aware of the fact or just holding a bias against it.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm sorry, continue.
Well, bags for Smash Run, big deal.
Seriously.
My heart goes out to Lord Carlisle with Lord Girahim. You know.
I feel so bad for him.
Poor guy.
Did you see that video, by the way?
Yeah, you showed it to me a little bit sooner, actually.
I meant the actual
yeah, I did.
day.
I did see it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was good. I liked it.
Oh, thank you.
The sound collection is looking awesome so far. I'm a big fan of the music of these games. I'm like a big music aficionado, so to speak, and I love it. Love it.
Yeah, I personally like the what they're doing with the music.
Definitely.
I'm a little bit disheartened by the fact that the 3DS version is going to have less songs.
Yeah.
And it just makes no sense to me, again, because we know what the file size is, which is 2 gigabytes, whereas the game cartridges can hold up to 8 gigabytes. So,
but if you have those 8 gigabyte cartridges, they do actually increase load time, and well, I don't know.
Fair to say. Yeah, that's good enough reason, I suppose. Well, yeah, I absolutely love the fact that you can put it in sleep mode and just listen to it. I'm definitely going to do that. I'm going to put it, like, I have a setup in my car. I'm just going to put my 3DS with me at all times and just listen to Smash Brothers music.
I'm not gonna say I'm gonna do that because I will probably just download the soundtrack and put it on my MP3 player like I did with Brawl.
I don't have an MP3 player myself. I mean, I could put it on my phone, but this is just an excuse to bring my 3DS with me anyway. So
we are complete opposites. I don't have a phone, but I have an MP3 player.
How do you communicate with the world? What's going on here?
Through the internet.
Wow, that was good.
Thank you.
It's a very unexpected voice.
Break out into a silly voice or something silly like that. I don't know, something random.
That's great. Can you do an American accent?
I can do Christopher Walken if that pleases you.
It pleases me greatly.
Good, because I'm not very good at it, but I'd try, you know. Thank you.
Yeah, I used to do voices myself. Unfortunately, I get stage fright when it comes to doing voices. So, like, if I'm by myself recording, I can do it just fine. However, having this discussion with you right now, it gives me a little bit of anxiety, and so the voice won't come out correctly. But yeah, it's a real shame. It's all right. All right, well, I think this is episode 7. I think we finished off and said everything we had to say. Nick, is there anything else you'd like to add or say to everyone listening?
Mr. Sakurai, if you're listening, please give us Isaac as DLC. Please, dear God, I am begging you.
Fair enough. All right, guys. Well, thank you for listening. And Nick, you turned out to be a way greater guest than I ever imagined.
Thank you.
And I didn't mean to sell you short, but you're a fantastic guest. So
thank you, and it's been great to do it. Really has.
And yeah, so again, that was episode 7, and we're going to lead out with what was it? Bravely Default. What was it again?
The tune is called "That Person's Name Is."
And here it is playing right now. Take care, everyone.